Hey there folks, my name is Darren Berrecloth and I'm a professional mountain bike free rider for the past 20 years. I've been using Avena products for about 5 years now. The thing about health in sports is you can't play sports without being healthy, because if you do, you just suffer. Avena is hands down the best product that I've ever used on the market. I've been through quite a few different proteins and all sorts of different health supplements to help me heal over the years and perform at my competitions throughout the globe. And I've never found anything quite like it. You know, their dedication to making sure there's no chemical processes in manufacturing their product, the fact that it's all straight from plants and organic plants for that matter, is one of the reasons I started to really pay attention to it. And once I got on the program, it's one of those things, it's hard to explain to someone how good it is and how much of a difference it makes in your life to someone that doesn't understand. But it's one of those things you just have to try it for yourself and really see the benefits that are going to come from using these supplements. And for me, I've been, mountain biking's a really tough sport. I basically tell people I fall down for a living, and the amount of bones I've broken and the injuries I've sustained over the years, I can't even count. But at the end of the day, the one thing that I do know is that I'm 37 now and I heal faster being on a solid supplement program such as the Avenas than I did when I was 25. Now, a lot of people will say, how can that be? You're 25, of course you're going to heal way faster, 12 years younger than what you are now. But at the end of the day, back then I wasn't on a supplement program. I was basically on a classic North American diet, which, as we all know, is not the greatest diet to be on. And when I turned 30, I was introduced to training with my trainer Gray and Juanita, and they are the ones that opened my eyes up to the whole health world, and including the Avena supplement line. And once I got on that program, it was just a mainline to feeling like the best I can, recovering, healing like a vampire, basically going into injuries and going in a follow-up with a doctor. For instance, I'd go to one instance would be my hand. I broke my two bones, basically a boxer break, and at about 3 weeks down the road, I told the doctor that 6 weeks after my injury, I planned on riding one of the gnarliest competitions there is, which is the Red Bull Rampage in Utah. And he just laughed at me and he told me I was nuts. And I said to him, I was like, why is that? He's like, you're nuts. How can you think that you can have two broken bones and then go ride 6 weeks later? And I'm like, well, I'm at 3 weeks now and I feel pretty darn good. And he made me take the actual strength test, and I basically blew his expectations at 3 weeks what I could squeeze, given, yes, mountain bikers have definitely a little bit more strength, but I was 3 times the amount of weight strength than he expected I would have at the 3 week mark. That situation has happened countless times in my career where I've been injured and I literally shatter doctors' expectations on when I'm going to be able to get back on my bike and compete at a very high level and take it all over again. So for me, having a good supplement program in my daily regimen, just to be healthy as a normal human being and to perform at the level that I've been performing at for the last 20 years, it's crucial to have a good solid, it's crucial to have a solid supplement program. And having a supplement program like Avena that I can literally take on an empty stomach, there's no chemicals, there's no crap, no garbage, nothing that is foreign to your body, all straight from plants. It's just, to me, it's by far the best product I've ever used, and I can't even think of using anything else, in all honesty. Yeah, health is a key player in competitive sports. Without it, you can't perform, you can't heal, you can't even get up out of the bed because you've done such a big workout and you're just too sore to get after it. 2 years ago, I broke my back for the 4th time, and unfortunately, I came insanely close to severing my spinal cord. And upon doing that, I was left with a pocket of fluid inside my spinal cord, right in my neck area. which is definitely very scary. But at the end of the day, my doctor pretty much said you can't put yourself in harm's way like you've been doing throughout your life. So I said, okay, well, I can still ride bikes and whatnot. He's like, yeah, for sure, but you just can't afford to be jumping off cliffs and landing on your head from 20 feet anymore. So I took that as definitely a big hit in my life and had to kind of steer my career a little bit different direction. But at the end of the day, I asked him, I was like, okay, well, does this swelling inside the spinal cord typically go down? And my doctor said, no, it's in the spinal cord, so therefore it's not like a muscle where the fluid can just drain. It's in a completely different type of a structure that doesn't really allow for the fluid to dissipate. So it's something that stays there forever, and the reason that it's so dangerous for myself is that your spinal cord usually has a lot of room to move. Even if you shift your vertebrae quite a bit, like you can break your vertebrae, no problem, without severing your spinal cord, because your spinal cord has a lot of play in it. But with this pocket of fluid, it really minimizes the amount of play that has in it, so it can break a lot easier, which is why I had to shift my my focus in my career. So I ended up asking him, does this go away? He said, no, typically it just stays the same for the rest of your life. It's not a debilitation. It's more of just something that you just got to change your lifestyle a little bit in order to, not put yourself at risk. So I said, okay, well, that's interesting. But in the back of my mind, I knew what I was planning on doing, which is hitting the supplement program super hard, getting on my enzymes, just upping my intake of all of my supplements, double dutying my smoothies, which has efusion, tons of enzymes, all sorts of good stuff in there, and really just hitting it hard in order to try and reduce this swelling, even though my doctor says that it's not something that usually happens. So 1 year later, which was about a month and a half ago, I'm happy to report that my doctor, after we did the CT scan, came back and was actually quite amazed that my swelling has come down 50%. And what that means to me is I'm out of the red zone, and not per se I'm going to go back to my, competing at Red Bull Rampage or anything, but at the same time I'm now able to do jumps and do tricks and stuff like that without that big fear and limitations over my head. So pretty happy to say that I beat the classic medical system notion of things can't heal. I beat the classic medical theories of doctors by clean, healthy eating and supplement program using the Avena original products. So here I am. So even though you hear me, after hearing me babble about my personal stories, I challenge you to live your life to the fullest. And what are you going to do to change that? The challenge is in your hands.